Told you, members,
So
we
the
be right
parental
here.
triangle, the
We'll be right here.
parental triangle,
I've got
and
this converting
members, we love
meaning.
you guys. And I'm telling you, we know this is going to grow and we're prepared. We've had almost a year of healing and rebirth
God,
and cleansing. And
we had a retreat here. We're going to talk about it on live maybe later. We had a retreat here 2 weeks ago, I think. Wow. Wow. It was great. We had so much fun. There was so much healing. There was a lot of crying. There was a lot of laughing. There was Reiki. There was Tai Chi. We even did that. We had so much fun. And anyway, we were just talking about how the twin flames are mirrors of your earliest wounds. And when I came along into Lee's life, when Lee came along into my life, right? Obviously, we were like, oh, there's something there, right? We meet people all the time. Oh, there's something there. And then as time goes by, you're like, okay, there's something there. But as soon as that happens, there's something's gone. Right? So, but there was something there, something I wanted to learn more about, something I wanted to dive deeper into, right? Um, I don't recall being able to, in past relationships, ever being able to look into somebody's soul when I looked into their eyes. Only one past relationship I can remember being all the way open with and being myself and just allowing the cards fall where they did, right? And not trying to dictate and things like that. And it was beautiful and it was lovely. The box inside of me, the big love box just wasn't open. And we could have deep and loving and fun conversations. But when we have conversations here, it's a different type of depth. It goes actually into the soul.
yeah,
Um, when I met Lee, I thought, good God, first of all, he's hot, and that part. And then, but then when I talk to him, it's a whole different type of communication. Like he's listening to me and he cares about what I'm saying. It was very hard for me to talk about my sexual abuse to just anybody, right? A lot of my past relationships don't even know, right? Because why? What's the point? But then I meet you, right? And all of these things that I had buried because I had healed them enough, right? Um, healed enough and then they all just come flooding back
yeah,
a little, and not all at once, but as we would go through scenarios in our life, right? And these words are being spoken. I'm over it. I can't do it anymore. I've had enough. I'm done. It's too much. He, whatever, too much. I can't do it anymore. It's too toxic. There's too much. I'm over it, right? Um, there's so much of that.
yeah.
And every time I got there, something else happened where you would listen to me or you would say something to me and I'd be like, "What? What?" It was like talking to a kindergartner and all of a sudden a college professor came through, right? A, B, C, D, or did you know the answer to the world's life's, hardest problems? I'm like, what? What is this guy? What? What?
It was like that.
Yeah, it was like, hey Sherry, A, B, C, D, world peace.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? One plus one equals two. Do you know what connection is? Yeah. It was we talked about it in a lot in our earlier videos where he was speaking alien. And that's how it felt to me. He was speaking alien. But then later on, when I would lay by myself or be driving home, the drive of shame is what our friend called it. So much, was going through our head. So much was going through my head. Not so much in here yet, but so much in here. Like, what was that? Well, the problem was I wasn't consulting here. I was trying to figure it out up here.
You know what it was?
What was it?
Remember that girl you said would hide, and the girl you said got hurt, and all that stuff that happened to her?
Yeah.
Somebody was loving her
Yeah.
for the first time,
Yeah. Yeah.
and made her important. You know what I
You
mean?
need the
When I
fabric.
mean, no, 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 I
Okay.
was picking up this ugly stuff that
Oh,
was on it. But anyway, it was
this is the
like
cord.
I was listening, but I was feeling what the energy was, what I was in. And it's
Yeah.
the feeling from that has since grown because look at how much love she's had compared to what she never got before.
Right.
She's not put away for you to hide. She's allowed to be out and be seen and be accepted for what happened to her and what she'd been through.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when you're young and something like that happens to you, you needed that. This connection gives you the ability to have that without even realizing that's what it's trying to give you. So everything you think you're running from is everything you should be running towards.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, how do you convince the world to do that when the world's been taught to do the exact opposite and then stay up in their heads and not believe they feel anything? So then it's like you look at that and you go, man, how do we impact that? So we knew that the answer wasn't as simple as what everybody was putting out there. We knew that. We knew when we read it, we said, that's not what this is.
Mm-hmm.
This is something much more present to be so ancient.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that's much more available for us to have. And that's
Mm-hmm.
your feelings have an intelligent system all
Mm-hmm.
to themselves. When we're telling you we feel each other, if her heart's broken, I come to her like a magnet. I don't run away from her. I don't go away from her. We're telling you that's something that is automatic. It's not even something I have to think about. Because in connection, you just be what the connection is. And connection requires you to be connected to yourself, which is why it's so hard to have this connection
Mm-hmm.
or understand what this connection is giving you, because it wants to take you back to something that was infant
Mm-hmm.
to you. It happened in your infancy, but it never went longer.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas we're human beings. Why did that ever disappear? Why did we lose that ability to be connected and that close?
Mm-hmm.
What did that is what's doing this. So
Mm-hmm.
we realize this connection is trying to bring that back.
Mm-hmm. But we get so confused a lot of times because we feel like twin flames are about romance, right? And that's not it. It's about reconnection.
They're about your depth.
Um,
They're about your depth, right? The
it
reconnection and yes,
it's a
keep going. You got it. No,
I'm lost
I
here.
know
Okay.
I was in the same space. I'm sorry.
Um,
I
are you
felt,
okay?
yeah, I felt the depth of it. You
Okay.
know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
It's deep.
So we tried to force a relationship because society said love equals
Mhm.
partnership,
They'll
right?
be this, they'll
Yeah.
be that,
Yeah. Yeah.
they'll do
Yeah.
this, this will be signs. As long as they're putting all of this
Hmm.
propaganda out there, you
Hmm.
believe that's the way towards connection, when connection is the opposite way from that completely. That's why it's so lost at
We
this point.
we have a new series coming out. Well, we're going to talk to you a lot about that later, but you're going to hear us talking about connection codes and it's coming. So just
Yeah.
follow right at this point because it's coming. Um,
Wait till you feel this beautiful thing she'll be
oh,
created. Hmm.
you know, but society teaches love equals partnership, but our connection code it teaches true connection thrives without labels,
True.
right? True connection thrives without labels. That's so freaking important.
Your fights about incompatibility
Yeah,
are done.
right.
It literally, it's
Yeah.
like if you're not combat,
The
like we're
connection doesn't
opposites.
care if you're compatible or not.
It knows yin and yang, and it
Hmm.
knows it can flow together. So it's trying to show you the flow of life. It's not trying to take it away from you. The issue is your fight against your own pain is and what you won't let the world connect to in you is
Hmm.
what's keeping you from knowing that connection is a real thing.
The purpose here, and we found along the journey that we fell in love and it was a romantic love and passionate love. And we did, get legally married and spiritually married and all those things. But I truly believe that that wasn't our purpose. even though it's part of our purpose now. We've made it part of our purpose, and and I love it. But it was actually to expose where we both needed to reconnect with ourselves.
And we needed to be able to experience a marriage that worked.
Yes.
So once we realized we needed to make something that for ourselves that worked for us, we took what marriage was and realized that that's the only way to translate it to tell you what we have goes beyond marriage. It's something more you actually do have the ability to have, but those abilities then you were never taught.
Mm,
So if you go back and you look at what happened in your childhood, you have to reclaim the energy there to be able to go back and reclaim what you were taught
mhm,
to know what your knowing has been trying to show you about connection.
mhm,
The story you live, it's just your story. This is,
mhm,
your inner child wakes up and says, hey, I'm here. Are you going to pay attention to me? And all you want to do is reparent. Well, parenting didn't work the first time around. Don't do it a second time. I mean,
mhm,
I'm going to tell you that's the parental triangle rule.
mm,
The parental triangle got broken so many times before your generation got here that you don't even see how disconnected you are because you inherited a lot of the disconnect.
mm,
And a lot of that disconnect isn't even yours.
mm,
So if you go back to your own primary way to connect to someone, that inner child,
mhm,
the innocence, the vulnerability, your true core of strength, no
mm,
rules of man or woman and what a man should have and what a woman should have.
mhm,
Men don't have feelings, women
mhm.
are going to be, should sacrifice their needs.
Yeah.
That rule disappears.
Yeah.
Disappears.
Mhm,
It doesn't exist.
mhm.
It's
Yeah.
divinity at its best because it feels divine in a way where it lets go of judgment
The the child that you have in you, the one who
that you
knew
awoken.
pure connection
Yeah,
before loss, right? Before you lost something. It's still alive in you.
you're just numb
It,
from
you hear it so much in videos before where I felt like you completed me, right? I don't feel like we completed each other at all. Um, you just reintroduced me to my inner child and vice versa. I just reintroduced you to
and
your inner
because
child.
and you kept accepting my innocence,
Yeah.
and that was hard for me
Yeah.
because I didn't accept what happened that took me my innocence to where it went. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when I was watching you accept my innocence, it gave me permission to do the same.
Hmm.
I think that was a fluke that happened to us that makes us completely unique.
Hmm.
But I also believe it was for a greater purpose, which is why we're here, why we're telling this, and why we're pointing it out.
Every time you choose vulnerability over logic, I just see
You
you holding that little boy's hand and saying, "You're safe with me.
right. That's
You're safe
if
with
you
me."
notice, like I
Yeah.
keep saying, well, he thinks that you're going to say this and that, and
Yeah.
but I'm saying it like I think you're going to,
Yeah.
but I'm literally saying to him, okay, I'll tell him that that's happening in here
Hmm.
because if I don't tell you that, you can't connect to him.
Hmm.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's almost like you don't see that you've become the guardians your parents
Oh
taught you to be.
man.
And you don't realize you've ignored that child. And when
Hmm.
you come into this connection, that child goes, I remember
Oh my
connection. Are you
gosh.
going to let me have it? And you go, look at what it's done to us over the years. And you tell the whole story of all your relationships, none of your connections. And then you believe the relationships are the reason you can't have connection, only to find out you're disconnected to the child that wouldn't know what connection is to begin with. It's almost a mind until you realize
Hmm.
it's one of those things that you can just say, this isn't a part of the way I want to be in this world. Um,
Hmm.
so they really bring you back to yourself.
It's the ultimate truth.
It's
That's
not
the
that,
ultimate
and
truth.
it's not that
Twin flames guide you home to
the
yourself.
role isn't to stay.
Hmm.
It's to leave you so whole you no longer need them, only to realize you've never been there for what you needed to begin with.
Hmm.
Once you're there for your needs, your ability to connect to other human beings changes greatly,
Hmm.
greatly. And the love that you're able to give that person can save their life.
Hmm.
We're telling you this from what we've been through. If you've watched this channel, if you've watched everything we've been through, this is we're telling this is the bare bones difference between us, what we're over here doing, and what we see with the people we've interacted with and felt their pain from.
Think of it this way. Think of it as twin flames or spiritual alarm clocks.
Is your
They
bell
wake
ringing yet?
they wake you they wake you up to the work.
Is your
They wake
bell
you up
ringing yet?
to the work. Your lineage
Yes.
couldn't finish.
And it's what's horrible about this is it's happened every lineage since. It's happened every time in every generational way, and it always ends up that that person leaves not feeling. They leave with the unrequited love to
Mhm.
return back to true love, and then when they get here, they go back to unrequited love, only to keep forgetting about true love. So you got to break the cycle of that. You got to
Mhm.
realize true love means the truth. The truth is going to be what's inside of you.
Yeah.
It's going to be inside of that child. So, that
Like,
that clock that she's talking about, that's the ringing you should be
mhm.
getting.
Yeah.
Um,
Like Lee's presence, even the pain,
mm,
even the pain, they're all a part of a code that only you can crack,
yeah,
right? And when you do, when we don't just heal ourselves, we heal everyone that comes after us.
absolutely.
We do.
Um, Sherry's presence, even the pain, they're all part of a code only you can crack. You know, um, her being there and not and removing judgment because she could feel the feeling with me. The feeling doesn't require your judgment if you're in it together.
Mhm.
And that's how you start to really kind of start to discover
Like
what true
that can
healing can
only be
be.
cracked by you.
It
You
can
know what I
only be
mean?
cracked by you.
Yeah,
You heal everyone who comes after you, though. When you heal
right.
this, everyone after you will feel you
Hmm.
or come into your life, or even your children will
Hmm.
feel this and know that there is a light to the end of the tunnel. And it's called human connection, AKA twin flames. That's as simple as that. And we found that to be the truth.
It's a spark. It is not meant for you to be chasing someone to have a romantic relationship with. That's not it. It's
It's
not
been
it.
great for pipe dreams. It's never
Yep.
been good for connection.
Mm-mm.
Connection doesn't require you to come up with the story of why they're not choosing you. It needs to point to you and tell you why do you have a story about somebody not being connected to you? You should probably ask yourself, why do I carry a story such as that? Then look at where the story came from. This is why it's so important. And we're glad we're able to share it with you guys. So thank you guys for
Thanks for
being here.
coming.
Yeah. And don't forget, 30 minutes if you guys need it.
Yeah, and we'll be back. With
Cheat codes.
we're back with
Connection cheat codes?
connection codes.
Oh, she'll come up with something because I'm telling you, this connection code framework she has, ooh, she found it. She found the answer.
See you guys soon.
Thanks.